German Chainsaw Massacre is a Soviet-era horror movie set during one of the most significant moments in recent German history, the reunification of East and West Germany in 1990. The film follows a group of East Germans who cross the border into West Germany, only to fall victim to a psychopathic cannibalistic family determined to turn them into sausages. This disturbing and grotesque premise could have served as a sharp metaphor for the tensions, fears, and uncertainties surrounding the momentous political and social change in Germany at the time. However, the film is so poorly made that any deeper meaning it tries to convey gets completely lost. From the very start, the film struggles with nearly every aspect of filmmaking. The acting is painfully stiff and unconvincing, which make it difficult for the audience to connect with the characters or invest in their fate. Furthermore, the direction and camera work come off as amateurish. Scenes are frequently and awkwardly framed or and also poorly lit, detracting from the mood one would expect from a horror film of this magnitude. The editing is choppy, leading to strange pacing that feels rushed in some moments and dull in others. The film's tone is another major issue. It swings back and forth erratically, unable to decide whether it wants to be a serious horror movie or a campy horror movie or something entirely else, maybe something, to add comedy, but it's not funny at all, this movie. This tonal inconsistency adds another layer of confusion and frustration. At times, the movie borders on absurdity, which undermines any suspense or horror it might have aimed for. The dialogue is often nonsensical or stilted, further highlighting the lack of polish or professionalism throughout the production of this movie. Despite these glaring flaws, one can't help but wonder if there is some intention behind the film's disturbing content. The chaotic and nightmarish depiction of a cannibal family preying on East Germans crossing into the West could have been seen as a metaphor for the real life anxieties that surrounded German reunification. For many, the fall of the Berlin Wall brought excitement and hope, but also immense fear about the unknown future of Germany. Life after reunification was uncertain, and also challenging, and in some cases, threatening to long held ways of living and thinking. Unfortunately, any message about fear, change, or identity gets bogged down in the film's overwhelming incompetence. The filmmakers might have been trying to express the surreal and unsettling experience of a society in transition, but their poor execution leaves viewers bewildered rather than enlightened. So, in conclusion to this review, German Chainsaw Massacre stands as a prime example of how a potentially powerful cultural critique can be completely undermined by bad filmmaking. This film is difficult to recommend this to anyone besides the most dedicated of horror fans or those curious about unusual cinema artifacts from the Soviet era. For the average viewer, this film is simply a frustrating, confusing mess. This is a film that could have explored the complex emotions and social upheavals of a historic moment, but ends up as a failed experiment trapped beneath its own flaws. This movie, it could have been a lot if they tried to make it a bit more serious and less campy. I reckon this movie could have been a lot better, but they just went for just bad acting and they just comedy scenes, outrageous acting, and it was just really bad to watch. So my review for this movie is, and it's a first for this channel, is half a star out of five. It's just this movie is just so bad. I mean, it's not even worth watching.